past and present speech and debate coaches from across the country have created a message by performing a collection of literature for their students. Students who are struggling to perform and speak their own messages right now. These coaches want to remind all of their students that we will make it through this pandemic, that they aren't alone right now, and that they need to keep using their voices to make the world a better place.
Good morning. This is an email to let you know that we will be sending another email this afternoon. That email will contain a special passcode for your child's Zoom meetings. The first Zoom meeting your child will have is at 6:53 a.m. this morning, and the following will be at 10:07 a.m. These times have been specifically formulated so that we don't overuse our servers. So please, don't attempt to join at 10 a.m., a nice round number that you will more likely remember, or at 8 a.m., when your child will more likely be awake. Thank you.
This is a Class 1 emergency. All civilian traffic is barred from streets and highways. Stay in your homes.
Already, hospital facilities have begun to crack under the strain, and civil defense authorities state that the situation is much the same across the entire country.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this message. Martial law is now nationwide. Our fellow countrymen are dying. The very foundations of civilization are beginning to crumble.
Hello, it's me.
I'm in Minnesota dreaming about going out to eat.
Just a burger with cheese.
Or a shaken margarita.
Baby back ribs from Chili's.
It's awful. This whole thing. It's so scary. People are upset. They don't like having to stay at home, but that's just that you got to keep your distance. That's the thing. And you can't really interact with anyone anymore. Which I don't really mind that part. and I don't want this to come out the wrong way. In fact, I quite enjoy that part, the not being around people part, because I don't really like people.
The hallmarks of an educational career are as set in stone as the Ten Commandments. Rites of passage are predictable from playground to playground, from your first bully to your first crush, your first A to your first dance. For the class of 2020, your educational career has had a different set of milestones. As the Washington Post explains, many of you were born in the immediate aftermath of the Twin Towers falling on September 11th. On the steps of pre-K, Hurricane Katrina flooded the streets of New Orleans and displaced 100,000 of your classmates. As you ended your elementary school career, a gunman entered Sandy Hook and took the lives of 20 of your classmates. And as you walked the halls as high school sophomores, another 14 were taken at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. As we approach your final milestones, this pandemic has robbed you of the most iconic rites of passage: prom, graduation. And for those of you who have dedicated your young adulthood to this activity, many of you have lost your state tournaments, the Tournament of Champions and NSDA Nationals. But while your steps have been dogged by pain and loss, your story is far more than tragedy. Our world will remember the class of 2020 as the innovators, the advocates, the powerful. As your teachers, we see your power every day in the classroom and every weekend when you step onto stages all over the country. You are courageous, brilliant, and so much more than the tragedies you have suffered. So we wanted to take a moment to acknowledge your legacy and impact on this activity and speak to the unique circumstances you face during this time of digital speech and debate. We see you. We celebrate you. Oprah challenged you to be the class that commenced a more just world. You have had that mission all of your lives, and you continue to use your collective voice to shout back at the injustice and pain in the world. A program. You are not alone.